welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Several days ago, I uploaded an update on CBDC, central bank digital currencies, where I shared that the world's biggest financial services company, Swift, is rolling out a CBDC platform within the next 12 to 24 months. This means that they have already completed their testing, they've launched pilot programs that were successful with active participation from central and private banks from all over the world. I will focus on that in just a minute. If you haven't watched that update, you may want to watch it next for more details. It is very, very important. Well, around the same time when Swift made that announcement, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, during a press conference, clearly stated that the United States is nowhere close to developing a CBDC. He said the Federal Reserve would need an approval from Congress to begin any work related to research and development, to piloting, and a potential launch down the line.
Researching or hiring personnel to study the implications of a CBDC, can you give us any clarity on what the Fed is doing right now on a digital dollar?
Sure. So I think we've been pretty transparent on this, but I'll try harder. So we are not getting ready to, we haven't proposed, we haven't come to a conclusion that we should propose or anything like that, that Congress consider legislation to authorize a digital dollar. And it would take legislation by Congress signed by the president to give us the ability to do what we think of as a CBDC, which is really a retail CBDC with the public of it. So we're just a long, long way from that. What we are doing, and I think what every major central bank is doing, is we're trying to stay in the frontiers of what's going on in digital finance. And it has many, many different areas. You know, it has applications in wholesale finance, in the payment system. And so we to serve the public, these issues have become very front burner in the last 5 or 6 years. We need to be knowledgeable about all that. So we actually do have people trying to understand things that are, but it's wrong to say that we're working on a CBDC and then we've secretly got a lab here where we've got one and we're just going to spring it on Congress at the right moment. We don't. I haven't at all in my own mind made a decision that I think this is something the U.S. should be doing. I just think it's something we need to understand, and we do have people who are keeping up with that as part of the broader payments landscape. That's how I would characterize it.
Well, as it turns out, things might not be exactly as Jerome Powell described. U.S. Representative Tom Emmer, who has previously introduced a bill to ban any form of a CBDC in the United States, posted on X. If you don't think the Fed is pursuing a CBDC, think again, says Emmer. The Fed gave this to my staff during a presentation earlier this Congress. They view a CBDC as one of their key duties. And you can clearly see it is a printed, what appears to be a booklet on the photo with automated clearinghouse and FedNow service listed, and then a CBDC included on the list. And it is a list of key duties. By the way, automated clearinghouse and FedNow are potentially those systems that would help roll out a digital currency. So perhaps Jerome Powell just wasn't aware of this. Why would he say to the whole world that the United States is, and I quote here, is nowhere near to adopting a CBDC in any form? While the United States may not be ready to adopt it tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, it is clearly developing it, judging from Emmer's post. Additionally, the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, for example, and I'm sure other system banks are doing the same thing. It has been looking for IT professionals to fill open positions that would work on a digital dollar. So clearly they're hiring people to develop a digital dollar. Even though a CBDC is likely something that we may not be able to avoid, the Digital Dollar Pilot Prevention Act has been recently introduced in opposition to the digital dollar. It would prohibit the Federal Reserve from initiating pilot programs to test CBDCs without approval from Congress. I personally think that it is not meaningful at all, because once the digital dollar is ready, do we really think that Congress would prevent it from happening? And by the way, the Digital Dollar Pilot Prevention Act hasn't made much progress for a reason. It was introduced back in May of last year, 2023, and here we are a year later with nothing to show. So clearly, nobody is really pushing to ban a CBDC. There are several states that have banned CBDCs, but the majority of states are still waiting or simply ignoring this. Comment down below and let me know if you're as skeptical about this as I am. I want to briefly go back to SWIFT's announcement of a CBDC platform. This relates not only to wholesale CBDCs, by the way, but to retail CBDCs as well. For the last 6 months, we've been working with 38 global institutions on the second phase of sandbox testing on our central bank digital currency interlinking solution. This is one of the largest known CBDC experiments to date. By the way, just so you understand the magnitude of the CBDC experiment, here's a list of the organizations that participated in it. Companies from around the world and across the industries, including central banks and monetary authorities from Australia, Czechia, France, Germany, Singapore, Taiwan, and Thailand, among others. Commercial banks and market infrastructure participants included Citibank, Deutsche Bank, HSBC, Intesa Sanpaolo, Societe Generale, Standard Chartered, Sumitomo Mitsui Banking Corporation, the Shanghai Commercial and Savings Bank, the Standard Bank of South Africa, United Overseas Bank, and Westpac Banking Corporation. SWIFT says the institutions can continue to use much of their existing infrastructure alongside new, innovative technologies. So the rollout may not even be 12 to 24 months away, since banks can use much of their existing technology. It means that the dirty work has already been completed. This existing infrastructure was likely put in place fairly recently to prepare for a transition. So I would go as far as to say that this has likely been years in the making without us knowing, because it does take a substantial amount of time in any corporate setting to roll out a new IT system. Here they're telling us once again that all of our assets will be tokenized. And then once again, they hint that everything is already in place, and this all while allowing financial institutions to make use of their existing infrastructure. So the big question now is, what's next? Well, since the public is very much opposed to a CBDC, as it should be, it's likely that its launch will have to be done in a way that would make it the only available option, a solution to a problem. That's obvious. SWIFT is here telling us very briefly, with this phase complete, we plan to extend our solution to support a wider range of emerging digital networks, in addition to CBDCs, such as platforms for tokenized deposits. They're telling us in a very straightforward way what to expect. Tokenized bank deposits are next, and I'm not making it up. As you can see, it just takes a bit of research and time to come across this information. Everything is in plain sight. I will end this video here. Do watch my previous update if you haven't already. I think it will provide more details for you to think about and hopefully to share with your friends and family. I will link that video in the description below. Thank you for watching. Please show your support. It truly does go a long way. Give this video a thumbs up, consider sharing it, and subscribe, both on Rumble and YouTube. I would love to have you back for my next video tomorrow. And if you enjoy reading, find me on Substack. You will find all of my social links in the video description below. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Take care.